cut the boat up in pieces, dump, and then I sold the ferry for what it pays for the ground. So, right now, yes, I got the boiler, I got the steam.
We were just
All right, good morning, guys. Can I get your attention? So, yeah, we're going to do a little demonstration on steam bending, and I don't have a lot of experience doing it, and that's kind of why I'm doing the demo here, just to learn. If anybody's got experience, please speak up while I'm chatting away. So, the materials you need for steam bending: steam source. We have a wallpaper remover steamer here. It's a Wagner, and so it's really nice. It connects to a flat surface steamer like this. You go over the wallpaper, boom, boom, boom. So Russ loaned me this piece right here that he put a radius in so that it fits on the 4-inch ABS pipe. So it fits nice and snug. I put a cap on one end, and we have rags, and I have a piece of plywood that I cut a circle in, so it makes a bit of a end piece here to keep most of the steam in. So when you make a box like this, you don't want to make it so tight that it builds up any pressure. So you avoid any kind of...
you don't want it so tight that you get air effects behind you. Because air produces effect.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you have a shelf, sort of shelf in there.
Yeah, so you see these dowels right here, 1/4-inch dowels. I put those. So the piece that I'm steaming is resting on the dowel, so they're off the bottom. All right. So yeah, so steamer. If you don't have access to the a Wagner type steamer, you can just boil water, propane stove. Could not use a propane stove here in the shop. You could do it at home or whatever, because we have Green Acres has a no open flame policy. So the other thing is steam box. So this is the ABS 4-inch diameter pipe. It's working fine for these short pieces. At home, 15 years ago, my son built a potato cannon. And surprisingly, he used the same stuff, 4-inch diameter ABS. So for 15 years, I've looked at this thing every couple of years. Why am I keeping this here? He's 36 years old. He's not going to be firing potatoes at the neighbors anymore. So just one of those things, you know, you just hang on to it. And usually you get rid of it, and then 6 months later, you say, oh, I could have used it. Why did I get rid of it? But fortunately, I kept it, so I've got a nice 7-foot piece of the 4-inch ABS that I'm going to use to bend the gunnel on the boat. As it gets up towards the bow, it's a pretty tight bend. So I'm going to see if that makes the bend any easier. So that 7-foot piece should be long enough. The stern seems to be able to fit in pretty good. So steam source, you need some kind of a box. A lot of people use a wooden box. 3/4-inch plywood. Make the box the size you need it, and still need the dowels to keep it off, and steam source. And the third thing you're going to need is some kind of a form. So occasionally you'll steam something that'll go right into a boat. Years ago I helped a buddy. He was rebuilding a Old Town canoe, and he had to replace some of the ribs. So steamed the ribs, took the ribs right out of the steamer, put them right into the boat, and so no form needed for that. You just put the rib right in, replace the existing steamer, replace the existing rib. But if you're not going to go right into a boat, or it's a piece that you can't secure with clamps in the boat, then you need some kind of a form. So this is the form. Actually, I got this from Mark. And I used this form when I laminated my bow stem on the shellback. So this is glued lamination here, and work rather well. And so I'm going to use the same form for the steam piece. Oh, so I read up a little bit on why steaming works. Plants have this material, lignin. So if you get the lignin warm, it's a organic polymer. So the lignin is around the cells and it keeps the cells rigid, holds them steady. So if you heat them up, the lignin softens up and it allows the wood to bend. So that's how the steaming works, because I have a piece of unsteamed oak and it doesn't want to bend at all. So the lignins are doing the job today. So, a few types of wood that are best. Oak. So I got a couple of pieces of oak at Home Depot, and I'm not sure whether this is air dried or kiln dried. I would imagine it's air dried at Home Depot.
No, I would imagine it's kiln dried.
You think it's kiln dried?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, one thing to be aware with kiln dried, they can kill the lignin in it, and it will not bend.
It will not bend?
No, it'll break.
Yeah.
It will not bend.
Well, I bent this piece.
Well, I mean, if you overcook it.
If you overcook it, okay.
No, if whoever's doing the kiln drying overcooks it,
Oh.
they will damage it so it will never be able to be bent. It'll just break.
Okay.
Air dried is the best because it's never been kiln dried, so it's got the right amount of moisture, about 4%.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes you can soak them to get the moisture count up before you steam them. That will help, especially with the Oregon white oak that we have here.
So I did soak this outside. I couldn't really get it inside for about 2 days, and so it bent around the form. So yeah, soaked it for 2 days in a tube, got nice and wet, and then I steamed it. It's 3/4 inch thick. So the rule of thumb is steaming for about an hour for every inch of thickness. So 3/4 inch, I went a little bit more. I went a full hour on this and bent it around the form. So there was a fair amount of spring back, and part of the problem, I believe, is that I took it off the form too soon. I got busy in the beginning of the week, so I took this off this morning. So there's a fair amount of spring back on this. So what I'm going to do is, this is an identical piece of oak to this piece. I will leave it on the form for a few days, and a couple of weeks I'll bring it back and show you if it did any better or not. But yeah, this is definitely a little bit moist after only 1 day of drying in my garage.
One thing else you can do is pre-bend it. You can put it on your jig with a little bit of tension and do it for several days and just keep increasing the tension, and then you can steam it and hopefully it'll fit better.
Oh, just moist or wet, and then bend it a little bit, just wet is what you're saying?
Well, you don't. It could be wet or dry, but you're just trying to help it along so it gets the idea that it's going to bend.
Okay.
So you do it dry. I usually do it dry.
You dry?
But you're not bending at the point where you break. You're just putting a little pressure on it. You're trying to get a little bit of bend into it. So that way when you steam it, hopefully it'll bend and you'll have less spring back. That's the theory.
All right. Yeah.
Cherry, I've done cherry that way and that's worked out well.
Okay.
Is there a reason why that couldn't have been laminated, or that details it from not screening that?
Yeah, he did laminate
He
it.
did.
But
He does have
First
the
one he
laminated
showed was a
one.
laminated.
Yeah, this, I
Oh, yeah.
laminated
Yeah.
the stem because I
Yeah.
didn't have any way.
That one
Right,
you
right.
didn't steam those, you just.
No, I didn't steam this. I just,
Ah.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you managed to cold bend that.
Yeah.
That was cold, that just laminated, yeah. So,
Green wood, better for steaming too?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Brian Schultz at Cape Falcon Kayak has a good guide for woods to steam and how to steam them. He has a nice guide. He only charges $2 for it. Kiln dried and green.
Who is that?
Brian Schultz at Cape Falcon Canoe and Kayak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he also has some tips on sources of green oak.
Yeah, right.
Good bending oak.
Yeah.
There's several good books on wood bending, which includes both laminating and steaming and
Yeah.
hot water soaking.
Most of what I picked up was just on the internet this past week when I was just thinking. So what I saw on the internet, some good woods for bending are oak, white oak, red oak, elm, hickory, and ash, and I guess cherry also.
Yeah, cherry bends really well.
Cherry bends really well.
Oh,
One thing you,
hickory does not.
hickory does not. Oh,
No,
really?
it does not like to bend, nor does walnut.
Tell the internet about that.
Well, I mean, there's people who do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they are. Another thing, you want to get a straight grain if possible, and avoid knots. You know, knot is just going to, weaken and probably crack. So, what else have I got here? Yeah, like I mentioned, about 1 hour for every inch of thickness. This piece that I'm going to pull out of here is only 3/4 of an inch, so 45 minutes or an hour should be good for that. As far as soaking before you steam, there's a lot of different thoughts on that. Some people say for oak a whole week to soak it. People talk about putting fabric softener in the water when you're soaking it. And so I don't know, it smells nice. Until your wife finds out a little fabric softener. So I just in water, and I didn't really have room inside the house, so I just soaked these for a couple of days. And I'm not sure if that made much difference at all. So as far as comparing laminating with glue versus bending without, a couple of advantages. If it's a decorative piece, like a piece of furniture, and you have a solid piece, it's going to look a little bit nicer, I think. And you're going to see the lines on the glued lamination, and might not be as pretty. Steaming is not as messy, when you glue, especially if you're gluing something with a lot of thin strips to get a fairly, thick part. There's a lot of glue. The glue is going to set off quickly, so it's a little bit difficult to get all the pieces together. In the steaming, you do need a source of steam, but if you're a member here, we have a steamer that you can use, and I've got, like I said, that 7-foot piece of ABS you can borrow, and Russ has got this 3-foot piece. So the wood does get weakened a little bit when you steam it and you bend it, and it is possible to oversteam. If you steam it too long, you can get some wrinkles on the compression side. So I haven't seen that, but just something I thought I'd pass along. All right. So I'm going to pass around a couple of pictures here of, I have a neighbor, he's 93 years old, and he's been building a boat. I called it like a drift boat. It's 14 feet long. He started it, when he was 83, and he's still plugging away on it. And he's got a piece that he wants to steam bend for the bow, like a false bow. And so there's a picture of what the jig is he's got set up to bend this piece. I think it's 3.5 inch thick. And he's a naval architect, and he's worked on ships his whole life. Actually, he built the ways over here at Gunderson where they launched the barge. They're going to launch one today. So he designed those ways. So he's really good, but he never really did much woodworking. So I'll pass around this jig that he wants to use to bend this 3.5 inch thick piece of oak.
Looks like he could bend it without steaming it.
Bend it without steaming
That's
it?
what it looks like.
Oh, yeah, swing. So he wants me to come over. We built this, he built it actually about a year ago, and at 93 he doesn't get to work on the boat so much, but it's about 90% finished.
It's a bank story. It looks like a bank story with a tombstone stern.
Ah,
It's 3/4 plank, 3/4 inch thick for planking on
Yeah.
the side. 3/4. And it's
Three-quarter.
what, 14 or 16 foot long?
14
It's a wood
feet
bed.
long. Oh, yeah.
And
And the bottom is 1 inch.
The bottom is 1 inch, yeah, and the framing is all
You look at
oak.
these pictures, it's like,
Yeah.
this soap's gonna weigh 2,000 pounds. Good thing it's wood, because otherwise it's probably wood.
He's a bit of a character, this guy, but, yeah, he's hoping to,
You didn't give him our address or anything, so we can have donations on the donations.
yeah, it's gonna be heavy. I've moved it around, and it's riveted also. So I was he really, his idea was to build this boat
Holy cow.
by himself, use minimal power tools. He wanted to basically do it without power tools. So over time, things have changed a little bit. But I don't know how many rivets are in there. I was helping him for a while with the rivets, and then he just wants to do it himself. And I don't know, like 1,000 rivets or something. Yeah, and the side planking. But it's really impressive, and I hope the guy does get to finish it. But, yeah.
93. Wow. We want to be putting money on this.
Yeah, MIT grad. He went to UW undergraduate, and went out to MIT, got a master's degree in naval architecture and marine engineering. He's worked in the industry. He was working up until about 5 years ago, just on his own. Yeah, he used to have a big office. But anyway, so anything else anybody want to add to steam bending? Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience, but it's been kind of fun doing a little testing here with this. And the steamer works great. Even this morning when it's 36 degrees out, yeah, the steamer warmed up in about 20, 25 minutes. So,
Do you have any experience or wisdom from what you've read about where to position the injection of the steam?
well, it's a good question. It probably should be upside down, okay, so that the steam rises. But
What about fore and aft? Particularly if you have a long,
if you have a long, right, how far it's going to go?
can you put it more toward the end? Or
As the steam starts, the other day I was looking at that because I was curious about it, and the steam dissipates throughout the whole pipe. Now, a longer pipe, this is only 3 feet. If you had 7 feet, I don't know how well it goes because there's no baffles and there's no fan or anything like that. But I think keeping the piece off the bottom on top of the dowels allows the steam to go pretty much all through it. But I would have put it upside down, but yeah, I didn't want to raise the steam.
What I would do is have a vent at the other end. That way you know you've got steam going.
Steam coming out, yeah. Actually, there was a hole in here. I put tape on it. I just didn't want too much. And you know, it's surprising. 2 layers of black duct tape hold that together. But there is a little steam coming out, so it's, yeah.
I used a 10-foot section of that 4-inch ABS to do mine. I don't know what the piece is. Goes on the inside of the boat that supports the seats. And it worked fine, yeah.
And I killed it a little bit so that the condenses being recollected and doesn't cool.
Yeah.
But when you first start, it's full of air.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you have enough steam that you displace all the air, and the air has a way of escaping it. And if you have the higher end without a vent, the air can get pushed up and it'll sit there, and you're reducing your effective temperature.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little, even more challenging in here today than I think when I did it. It certainly wasn't with me.
I have a question. So you mentioned temperature. Do you have any goals for temperature and when it's really cold out versus when it's warm?
About 210 degrees. And yeah, I didn't bring the thermometer today, but similar situation. I put a meat thermometer in there one day, and I had 210 degrees. So it's going to be right around 210 in there. And,
So would you cover that with something on a really cold day like today?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. It's you know, if the
Just throw a
steam is
blanket
coming
over
out
it.
the steam, I don't know that it makes any difference. I don't
Which is how fast the steam condenses. So you could throw a blanket over it
could, yeah.
without a problem.
Or-
Wouldn't hurt it.
Yeah,
Might help.
but yeah, there's steam coming out, so I figure as long as steam's coming out, the steam's inside.
There's still plenty of water in there too. It takes quite a while
Yeah.
to use up all that.
That's another thing. So the Wagner steamers here, I've had it for over an hour, a little over. It's still water in there, so you're probably able to steam, yeah, for an hour and a half, 2 hours, maybe something like that. So if you had a big piece, but yeah. Any other questions?
When you're bending it, you have to be careful. You have to just ease into it. So you either can start the middle one both ends or one end, and you just work your way along.
Yeah,
And
no,
You
that,
feel it as
Yep.
it bends.
It'll
Yeah.
clamp it behind so it won't split out behind you. What I do. As you bend it, start at a thick spot, keep moving your clamps so that it's not, the bend is not unsupported.
A lot of professionals will use a steel strap.
That's another way,
Yes.
yeah.
That
Yeah,
way they're
I-
putting even pressure on it.
yeah. And, but anyway, just for this little bit of a test that I've been doing. But yeah, that's the way I usually put one in the center and then work my way out, going slow. And, yeah, like I said, this piece-
About making the thing that puts as a strap to support the piece while you're bending.
And also, did they have the liver on it?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's very common.
Yeah.
That's been around for 100 years, 200 years.
I would think so.
Instead of it being
Yeah.
square at the end, it kind of looks like a parallel.
Yeah.
Kind of twisted.
You know, we use a lot for rib feet because they're only a quarter inch thick. It's just a leather belt
Yeah,
to back support.
yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah, so that's what I did with this piece. Put a clamp in the center and then went out to the side there. So actually, 45 minutes, it's like 50 minutes now. So, yeah, you just let this go for a few more minutes and then put it on the clamp and see
Suspense is killing us.
Is it, anyone
Yeah.
not seen this?
Can I see that?
There you go.
When I did my natural pram, I steamed the outlaws. They were 3/4 inch by an inch and a half old.
Oh.
And when I tried putting them on, initially it bent the boat out of shape. And when I steamed them, I was able to work it on. It did have a lot of steam back, but it wasn't so much that I just couldn't clamp it
Yeah,
and
number
screw
uh,
the outlaws onto the boat.
what was that?
So having a little spring back.
Was that one
Yeah.
boat building group that we watched a lot of his videos?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he was skiing on the boat by just getting a piece of yeah, cast tubing for steaming.
Oh, yeah.
And so you put the wedges on the boat, fasten it.
Yeah, so he's just going to bang those wedges into that and see it. Yeah.
And put steam in.
Yeah. You guys see this?
Yeah, on the boat.
Yeah, so hopefully this will work. Probably won't get around to it for another 2 months or so. He hurt himself. He was doing some sanding with a belt sander. He put it down and caught his pants, dug into his legs, so he was out of work there for a couple of months, but he's still determined, plugging away with this thing. Yeah. What? No glue. No glue. Oh, I mean, for some parts of the boat, yeah, he does a little bit of gluing here and there, but yeah, it's all riveted, and he's going to caulk it up, and you have to
Probably
turn.
doesn't need caulking, just with enough rivets, it just got enough pressure.
Yeah,
that
he's
it
got plenty of rivets, but he's looking at some caulking too. And the thing is, too, this is his garage. It's a one-car garage, and it is jammed up with this boat. There's not much room. How he? I guess you can't fall over because there's no room to fall. But yeah, it's.
So Craig, who was that guy on the internet that we used to watch his videos? Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the group that he was part of?
Oh. I don't know that he was.
Tips from a shipwright.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Tips from the shipwright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he steamed on the boat. He would
Yeah.
he
Right.
would use. They have that flexible.
Yeah, they
Clear-
got plastic tubes. Oh, yeah, that's
And you put the tubing
Yeah.
on a piece of wood, and you clamp it to the boat, and you put steam into the tube, and just move your clamps along as it softens up.
The shipwright, can't remember his first name, his last name, yes, that's
Lou.
doing,
Yeah. Lou's first.
no, but there's another shipwright,
Oh.
I think it's restoring Rosalind, something, yes. He steamed
On the boat.
on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a big,
Those plastic
Um,
bags.
big steamer, just
Yeah,
pushing out
that's
heat
what-
on steam, doing big plants, and he could.
Well, Luke's used a wall steamer.
Yes.
That's all it takes.
Yeah, yes, well,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
marginal probably for what he was doing,
Okay.
but this other guy, I think the first thing, he was overcooking.
Okay.
He
Here we go,
was
here we go.
pressure washer, steamer, steam cleaner.
Here we go.
So you don't want to go here with bare hands, so I'm sure.
No. This is where you can have fun.
Well,
I think we have plenty of fun.
yeah, it's coming along nicely. You want me to run those clips? Right, yeah. But I don't, just keep it, yeah, that's just in that clip.
Do those middle clamps serve any purpose at this point?
The middle clamp? No.
Oh, I think it did, yeah.
Just gonna keep it.
Just keep
it.
Yeah, just
sliding up and down maybe?
No, it's gonna keep it up so
So it can't kink?
Yeah, so.
I think
Yeah, I'm just thinking of.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
Yeah.
Right, but then you do, it sounds like you do want to.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're gonna get pressure kind of like.
Yeah.
When we see the strips, you can use hot water then.
Yeah.
Right, oh, never.
Candy has to come on.
I'm surprised that that's what it is.
A lot of pressure on that.
Yeah, when I was reading.
So I wonder if you can. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's like there. Yeah.
This is why you want all the space for the
Yeah.
I would make them a little longer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, like, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do with this piece.
Yeah, it's not. Send to fire with
We'll go around the corner.
Yeah. We're going to clean up brown stove. Who's gonna turn it on?
And it's still working out. That's a pretty good cheese.
So I have to thank Mark Ramsey here for the mold. Worked well with my stem.
And I have to
that
thank
last
Bill
one
for
good.
getting it out of my garage.
You're getting it back. It's gonna drop down.
your driveway on the way home.
Yeah, bring it back this afternoon, that's all you need, right? Is something
Yeah.
else in the house.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Almost,
Yeah,
We're not accepting donations.
yeah.
down to like.
Whatever's what. That's what this is, pretty close.
Yeah, so I'll keep this, for a couple of days and I'll bring it in, next open house and we'll see how it goes. But I would imagine it's gonna do better than that piece that was moist this
Howdy.
morning.
How you doing?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's it, if there's no other questions,
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
yeah, you're welcome.
A lot of time
Very nice.
just getting ready to do this.